Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock and this is Utterly Awesome Stamping. Today I'm going to be showing you a card made with one of the brand new sets in the new catalog called Celebrate Sunflowers. It is really fun to work with, so I am excited to show you what I've made. I'm going to be using the Birch background stamp set. The hello is from Good Morning Magnolia, and then of course the leaves and the flower are from Celebrate Sunflowers. The first card I made, I just put it on a white background, and this Thanks a Bunch is from the Celebrate Sunflower set, but I don't always want to say thank you, and I like hello because then it makes it more of a generic card. So that's what I'm going to show you today, but realize, you can add so many different types of greetings to this card. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's Let's Celebrate, Know That You Are Loved. Of course, I absolutely love that greeting. And it's going to be a set that I know I'm going to use a lot. All right, so to get started, we're going to need the Stamparatus. This is such a handy tool, and what I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 5.5 to stamp this birch background. Even though, of course, I'm only going to use a small portion of it, I'll show you how you need to do it. Because this stamp is so large, you can't cut, say, 1/4 of a card and stamp on it, because if you try that, and let's say you wanted to stamp it again, ink it again and stamp it again, you won't be able to do it because the stamp is probably going to pick the cardstock up, it's going to move it, so it's much smarter to get a longer piece of cardstock. So just go ahead and put the stamp on your plate, and then pull it over a little bit to see, okay, I think just about there is good. And then because this stamp is so large, I'm going to put my magnets way at the end. Okay, so I've got Early Espresso ink. I'm going to slip a pad under here. That makes it easier to ink. Okay, so this is Early Espresso. And let's see what happens here. Very possibly I'm going to want to ink this a second time. It wouldn't hurt. I probably don't have to, but why not? I think I will. Okay, now watch this. When you go to stamp it a second time, you're not going to stamp it here because you can see that the stamp image is bigger than that space. So what you're going to do is simply just flip it over, line it up again like this, put your magnets there, and then we'll ink it up again. And the reason that works so well is it gives you all this extra space. You've got plenty of room for your magnets. And then when you go to cut it down, I'm going to cut, for this I did a 3¼ by 4.5 piece for this card. So 3¼ by 4.5. So I'm going to get one of the pieces out of this side, then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to get one of the pieces out of this side. Okay, so that's that. Now, here's one thing you love about this Stamparatus. You simply just pull out the plate and you get your second plate, because now what we're going to do is stamp the sunflower. And it's going to be stamped in black. So I'm going to stick this underneath. Okay, this time I'm going to get a 4¼ by 11 piece of cardstock to stamp the sunflower, simply because it fits on that size. So what I'm going to do is see where I need to start it, and I'm going to get my black memento pad, and this one definitely needs to be inked a second time. I could probably just re-ink my pad. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is take scissors and cut this, because as long as I'm stamping sunflowers, I might as well stamp a few more. And there's room on this 4¼ by 11 inch sheet to stamp 3 of them. So here goes the second one. And then I'm going to show you another little trick that I use to get some depth without using dimensionals. Okay, so here goes the third one. And when you love a card, you're not going to want to make just one of them anyway, right? So now we're ready to make 3 cards. Okay, so we will set the Stamparatus aside. Okay, now I'm going to be using the sunflowers dies. And what I'm going to do when I go to cut out this sunflower, I'm going to put a plain piece of cardstock underneath it, because on my cards, I don't always use dimensionals, and I did not use dimensionals here, but I want some depth. So I mounted this colored sunflower on 2 pieces of cardstock that were cut out with the die, but are just plain. That gives it depth without the height of the dimensionals. Okay, now, if you'll notice on this die, there's a little wing over on the left. And so what I do when I'm ready to cut out my sunflower, okay, where's the wing? Here's the wing right here. Okay, I'm just looking for the wing over here on the left, and then I can easily line it up. And then you always want to take a piece of washi tape, tear it off, and just once you get it lined up, just go like that, just a little tiny bit. Okay, then you can, on my cutting machine, I can cut 2 white pieces at the same time. So instead of cutting 3 individual sunflowers and then cutting 6 more of these, 2 extra to go under each one, I'm going to at least be able to cut 2 at a time. So then I can put 2 more sheets together and cut 2 more at a time. So quickly get the depth. Of course, dimensionals are faster. If you don't mind dimensionals on this particular card, then just add dimensionals. I just happen to love this is the feel, it kind of gives you the feel of a cardstock flower. It's thick and deep, but not on dimensionals. Okay, so there's my tip for that. And then we're going to need to, okay, so it's already, okay, so we have it cut out. Here's our extra layers, and I've colored most of it in, but I wanted to give you a little tip for coloring the sunflower in. Use, of course, the large tip of the Daffodil Delight, at least I'm using Daffodil Delight. And then if you will pull from the tip toward you, just go all the way around, pulling down from the tip. Then you can go back, and really, you don't have to be that careful. You're just coloring in, but it makes it so easy not to go out of line. Okay, then I'm going to take the bronze Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color the center of the sunflower in. The bronze is paired up with the ivory Stampin' Blend. Okay, now something else I like to do, I like to take the dark crumb cake and I like to just go over some of the lines, or all of the lines, and it just gives the sunflower a depth to it. Isn't that crazy to put dark crumb cake onto yellow? But that's exactly what I did. All right, so now, again, I'm just using my Dado until my new adhesive comes. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, so I'm happy about that. So again, I'm looking for the wings. Where are you, people? Here you are. Okay, I'm looking for the wings, and I'm going to line it up, and then I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm looking for the wings. There they are on the left. There we go. All right, so we've got 3 layers now. We're ready to put it on the card. To color in the leaf, I'm using the Old Olive Light, and I'm going to be a little bit careful going around the outside. So I'm just going to color it in very simply. And then, because you it looks so nice if you have some highlight to it. So I'm going to take the dark Old Olive, and I'm using the fat tip because it's faster. And I'm just exactly what you see me doing. I'm just pulling it over the highlight that's been put on there for you in black, and it really, really looks nice. We are ready now to assemble the card. So I've got, first of all, 8.5 by 5.5 early espresso. I think I better use my bone folder one more time. And inside, I'm going to put, here we go. Hello. Okay. Something to write on other than the dark espresso. Okay. So now I've got my piece of white cardstock that's been stamped with the Birch background. And I'm going to add that to the crumb cake. The crumb cake is 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, now let's add these layers to the front of the card, right in the middle. Okay, now we want to get the greeting ready, and I'll show you what I did. I stamped the hello, and I cut it out with these two dies. This was for the greeting, this was for the backing layer. These are out of the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I love those dies. Those are probably my favorite ones in the whole catalog, even though I love so many things in the catalog. But these are just so versatile. And so I'm going to layer these together and have that ready. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive on everything, because I'm going to try to kind of place things and play with it a little bit and see, okay, now where do I want this exactly? I need room for my greeting up here. I know that greeting is a little bit big, and you wouldn't have to put the early espresso with it or behind it, but I do like it. Okay, I think I am, oops, that's sticking over the edge, so we don't want that. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. All right, so now the flower is a little plain, so we're going to add a linen bow to it. I don't know if you have a bow maker. These you can find on the internet to purchase. They're so easy to use, and you can even find a tutorial that shows you how to do it, but I'll show you quickly how to do it. What I like to do is you just pull both pieces behind, and then normally if you were just making a single bow, you would cross over and under, back over, and then just tie it and you're done. However, I want a double loop because a single loop on this is not quite enough. So what I'm going to do before I go under and over again is I'm just going to loop it one more time. Now I'm back to that original place, and I'm going to go under, and I'm going to go over, and then I'm just going to tie it in a loop like this. Then I'm going to pull it off and trim the ends like that. Put away our bow maker. Then I'm going to use a mini glue dot, put it about where I think I want it, and stick it on there. Yes. Okay, now what I've done is on my other cards, I've used these, oops, upside down. I've used these gilded gems, or not gilded gems, faceted gems. These were in the prior catalog, and I'm waiting for my new gilded gems to come in. They're supposed to arrive tomorrow. So for right now, I'm just going to leave this card plain because I want to put the new gilded gems on there. They're also gold. A little spot of glitz really makes this card pop. So anyway, so I will just leave this. I'll wait for tomorrow. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the tips with how to use the Stamparatus. And oh, I had another thing to show you real quickly. In addition to this, plain background. I also did just a really simple card that you know, you could just send out for a quick thank you. I think the next time I make this card, I would make a mask. In other words, stamp this, cut it out, place it down, and stamp the leaves over it so they would tuck up underneath this flower a little bit more. But this is just, it's a quarter card. It's simple, cute, fast, and a nice way to say thank you. I think I'll probably even put a little bow on that one too, linen thread. Okay, so there you have it. So anyway, I hope you'll try this. If you love the sunflower, you'll come up with a lot of other designs too. And thank you for joining me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel by pushing the subscribe button below. Be sure to visit my blog, sandystamper.com, because I have all of the details for this card on my blog today. And have fun stamping.